Good morning, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. I hope you're enjoying your morning, whatever you're doing this morning. Where two or three are gathered, that's where the Lord's going to be. So I pray you can sense His presence all around you. We wanted to tell you we appreciate you, and we pray you feel God's most holy presence in and around you all day long today. Even His good pleasure in all you're doing and just in who you are, because each of you moms out there are a true blessing to those around you. And of course, you're also a blessing to us. I wanted to share that as I was driving yesterday, I felt the Lord start speaking to me about a unique topic. I started humming the song, God Bless America. I didn't do it consciously, really. I just started humming it to myself as I drove. And I thought, why am I humming that song? And when I asked the Lord, because often when I'm preparing for a service that we do on the weekends, there's often a reason He has for bringing me a song. And so I stopped myself, from just glibly going out and said, Lord, is there a reason I'm singing that song? And He brought to me something to share with you all. And that's why I'm here today in my own home making a video. Probably like me, you aren't going to immediately relate well with the word that He gave me, because He gave me a way to connect to Mother's Day that I've never connected to it before, like what He asked me to bring you. So the idea I'm going to share is not something you may have ever connected with the word mother. But I'd like you to consider an old-fashioned word that we rarely hear. The word is motherland. Motherland means the country of our origin. Also, it means the land that feeds and cares for her own. I bet you've been thinking about the farmers like I have these past few weeks. When I hear the word motherland, I must say that the word mother has something deep in my heart. It's a word that stirs me, and I associate the word mother with, of course, my own mom. And when I connect that word with land, then I have a dawning in my mind and heart. I realize I care more deeply and I'm more connected to my own country than I may have realized. Would you take a moment this morning to allow yourself to feel the connection God has for you to your motherland today on Mother's Day? Our country, or our motherland, is going through sorrow and pain today. It's important that you and I connect to this today. Let your heart be stirred to begin to pray for the needs of your motherland like you may have never prayed before. I realize we've all heard a myriad of statistics about the virus these past 2 months. They stagger us. We really can't even fully take in all the degrees of the trials behind us and yet before us. But please keep in mind that this outward disease of coronavirus pales in comparison to the spiritual woes that are going on in our motherland. Troubles all around. Strife, unforgiveness, people being abandoned, disunity, bitterness and lies, anger and rage, the fatherless, the drug problem across our nation, the spirit of anarchy that comes up, people against our own police force, and the list goes on and on. I was thinking how much the spiritual troubles outweigh our natural situation with the coronavirus. I want you to try this week. When you're out and about, because we now get to go more places than we did before, which is a real blessing, and you see a person wearing a mask, imagine to yourself that the mask is really there to try to cover a crippling spiritual problem. And imagine a little pouch at your side with the medicine for it. You have the antidote for spiritual trouble in Christ. Do you realize it's more on God's heart to heal the spiritual pains of Americans than even the physical? He desires to meet the horrendous heart cries that are coming up to him from all over the world. And do you know what? Those cries were reaching his throne well before COVID ever broke out. It seems that during times of war, nations draw to themselves and begin to appreciate the blessing of having a nation to even call their own. We are blessed in our nation, and maybe we're beginning to appreciate those blessings a little bit more. I know you, like me, have been hearing many of our nation's leaders, as well as those on the front lines, express the idea that this is a time of war in our land. We know that COVID-19 has caused many, many challenges around the world and caused us to come together for the common good of the whole world like never before. But God is using this time. He wants to rouse his sleeping church. He's shaking awake the watchmen on the wall who've grown tired and whose eyes have lost focus. I'd like to challenge each one of you to accept a new call to pray for our nation, for those that we're surrounded by, your neighbors, people you see at the grocery store, friends that you could reach out to that you haven't thought to call yet. Pray for our nations and those around you as if you were praying for your own mother. Imagine that your mother is in pain, surrounded by troubles, for in reality your motherland is. Please pray anointed, passionate prayers for the spiritual healing of our motherland as well as her natural healing. May God bless you, and may God bless America.